I'm here to talk about the subject of corporate governance. It's sort of an important component of the ESG report. And on the issue of governance, the place of emphasis, for you is a better understanding of the Alibaba partnership. It's a partnership today of currently of 36 individuals that is at the heart and soul of our business. Back in 2009, when we were facing our 10th year anniversary, Jack looked back and said, well, Alibaba was founded with 18 founders. But the question he asked ourselves was that, what if the founders are no longer here? The founders are people. The company should last much, much longer than people. We have said the vision of our company is to last 102 years. Why 102 years? It's because we want to span 3 centuries. We were founded in 1999, so if we survive 102 years, that would have spanned 3 centuries. One of the important things about having 18 founders is that you actually have great coverage and exposure. So when you go out and talk to employees, when you have meetings, it actually is very, very helpful to have more people than fewer people. If you're the one founder in the business, it actually takes a long time for you to talk to each one about the culture and everything. So Jack's like, how do I replicate 18 founders, right? So that's when the Alibaba partnership was born. The following year, in 2010, what Jack did was he asked the 18 founders to hand in their letter of resignation and then asked everyone to reapply for the job. And it was a way to symbolize, well, let's have a fresh start, but let's have continuity of the culture and the DNA of the founders, and let's try to continue that for many, many, many years to come. And that's how the Alibaba partnership was born. So I've said that the partnership is at the heart and soul of our company. The main purpose of the partnership is to sustain the culture. And a lot of people talk about culture. A lot of companies say, oh, our culture is this or that. I don't think culture should be the idiosyncrasies of the founder. Culture should be well-defined. Every company should come in and talk about their culture and discuss it, and then come up with a framework. So the way we have talked about our culture is our mission, vision, and values. Our mission is to make it easy to do business anywhere. But I think I wanted to make a very clear distinction, because most people confuse mission and vision. Mission is like your religion. It defines why you exist. And we believe that companies shouldn't exist to just make profits. Companies should exist because there's a common goal. There's what do you want to do? And when we said to make it easy to do business anywhere, that was our mission back in 1999 when we were founded. Embedded in that mission is a sense of responsibility that we want to do something for the small guy. Because when Alibaba was founded, we wanted to help small businesses to export their products wholesale to the rest of the world. And still today, that mission, to make it easy to do business anywhere, is embedded in our DNA across different kinds of businesses. And you say, well, you now do so many things. Is that mission still applicable? Guess what? We actually just had a partnership meeting a few weeks ago, and we decided, yes, that is still our mission. Even though we're in commerce, we're in new retail, we're in logistics, we're in financial services, we're in entertainment, we're in so many different things. What it means is that in every business relationship, everything we do, even in entertainment, there's the producer and there's the end consumer. How do we bring that distance closer together and get rid of the friction in between and make it more efficient for producers to reach end consumers? The next layer of interpretation of that mission is we want to solve people's problems. We want to solve consumer pain points. We want to solve merchant pain points. We want to solve pain points for producers. So solving problems, again, is very much in the ethos of Alibaba. Now you can begin to understand why the whole idea of ESG, social responsibility, is very, very tied into our mission and into the company DNA. Because ESG is about social responsibility, and we believe that only if you solve people's problems can you really say that I'm solving societal problems, I'm creating value for society. Why we have this partnership? Obviously, there are a few characteristics of the partnership that are really important for us. First, we have to have set the highest ethical standard possible and set the tone at the top. So in our partner selection criteria, one of the most important criteria is that people have high character. And when we select partners, when we vote on the partners, that is very much in the conversation. The partnership is also, at a high level, very involved in the talent development and succession planning. And I'll get into a little bit about the human capital management aspect of it. But people is what we very, very much focus on. If you look at the company's senior management, we always talk about the people because we believe people create the most value. Whereas technology is helping the people to create that value, but it's the people that's driving the business. And finally, at the partnership level, we actually have a fairly collective decision-making mechanism. All the key decisions of the partnership, for example, admitting new partners, for example, deciding on who to nominate to put into the boards of our Alibaba group, these decisions are actually made based on a one-person, one-vote basis. 36 partners, everybody gets a vote equally. We believe that this mechanism reduces our key man risk, and also there's a partnership mechanism to increase the size of the partnership as we bring in new blood every year. So the partnership is a continuing living body with new people coming in. So the role of the partnership, I want to talk about the 4 major roles of what we do as a partnership. Number 1, board composition. There's a provision in our corporate charter that says the Alibaba partnership has the right to nominate a majority of directors. To nominate a majority. It's a nomination, right? And then we bring the nomination to the shareholders for you guys to vote whether they get voted in. I think that mechanism is in place so that we're saying, hey, look, if I want to nominate my idiot cousin, bad person, you guys vote it down, all right? But the key thing is majority of the board. Why majority? Because we believe that we still need to work through the way the corporate governance works is that boards select company leadership. The CEO is picked by the board. Therefore, board composition and how the board interacts with each other and interacts with management in selecting the CEO is the most important process. One of the most important jobs of the board is to select the CEO. And we think that that's an area where the partnership would want to have level of influence at board level. So today, board composition-wise, we actually have not fully exercised the partnership right to nominate a majority because we have 11 board members. Only 5 of them are nominated by the partnership. The other 6 are independent directors. The next thing of the role of the partnership is human capital management, succession planning. I think when Jack last week talked about his plan to pass on the chairmanship to Daniel in about a year from now, this is when the question of company succession, leadership succession came into focus. It's a very hot topic right now because a lot of internet companies have dual-class shareholding structures. And the dual class means that the founder owns the dual class. But what happens when the founder is no longer around, right? People don't live forever. What happens to that? So this succession planning process, and with the partnership's help, is a continuous, sustainable process for us to do succession planning. In the Alibaba Group, when we talk about talent development, there's several different processes. I don't want to take up too much time, but there's a process for evaluating employees, depending on your job level, every quarter, or every 6 months, or every year. One of the most important things in that evaluation process is the 6 values that Rob put up on the slide. Customer first, embrace change, integrity. Those values have to be baked into the evaluation process so that whether you get paid a bonus or not, no bonus, or a lot of bonus or small bonus, actually depends on the value rating. The value component is just as important. It's 50% of everybody's performance evaluation. So you not only have to hit your business KPIs, you have to have demonstrated behavior that is consistent with Alibaba values. In our review process, it's very rigorous. You actually have to give examples of how you've demonstrated values. So the performance review process is part of the talent development process. The second thing is every year we go through a talent review. So the top sort of 400 people in the company gets reviewed. The biggest question, most important question in the talent review is we ask the person and also ask their boss, who is their successor? Name 3 people who can succeed them. And that review is a very good review of unearthing younger talent from the bottom up. The third process is the process of promotion. Again, at Alibaba Group, if you want to get promoted, it's an extremely excruciating process. It's a painful process. You basically have to do a whole presentation of yourself and go through an interview that's even more rigorous than your original job interview to get into Alibaba, to get promoted. That is also a process where we are testing your leadership capabilities. And finally, another process at the partnership level is the process of how we select new partners to come into the partnership. And that's usually a 3-year time horizon. We start to identify people 3 years ahead of time. We start to evaluate them. We actually assign existing partners to try to get close to them, find excuses to have dinner with them just for casual observation. So these are all the processes that we went through. And then when it comes time to select a new partner, every year, maybe 3 or 4 partners make it into the group. Last year, we only admitted 1 partner. The gate is very high. It requires 75% of votes of the entire partnership to make it into the partnership. So for those of you who deal with procedure, 75% is actually very, very high threshold. We've had a lot of situations where partners fight with each other, cry, get upset because certain people don't get in and others get in. So it's actually a very, very healthy process for us to evaluate the top echelon management team of the company. Ethical conduct. The partners have a responsibility. We believe a higher responsibility than everybody else of maintaining the ethical culture of the company. An example I want to give is we're about to reach Mid-Autumn Festival. Last year during Mid-Autumn Festival, we had a situation where the company provided an internal benefit to employees of mooncakes to employees. But we were giving away mooncakes within our company internal system. And it's first come, first served. So you basically come and claim the mooncakes. I mean, supply is limited, so it's first come, first served. So what happened was some engineers decided that they're going to write a code to repeatedly claim the mooncakes. And they got most of the mooncakes. So the rest of the company got really pissed off. So we ended up making a decision. We fired 4 engineers because of that incident. And it was one of the most controversial things within our group. It actually was one of those things that divided kind of the people who are really the sort of innovation-driven types who are saying, hey, these guys are just, it's a game. It's nothing important. You're killing innovation by bringing on such harsh penalties against these engineers. But our reasoning was this, and this is what I bring this example up is because we actually talked about this case. We spent hours and hours within the partnership to discuss this and discuss the implications of what this means to our culture. The problem is this. The 4 engineers that were fired, they work in our security department. So what message does it send that 4 of your own security people can go into your system and change the system and do something that benefited themselves? I mean, they thought it was a joke, all right? They thought it was like, I mean, look, no big deal. I got more mooncakes. I'll give it back, right? No. The message is that if you work in security, the discipline has to be 100%. You know, it's not even, you know, you can't even have a joke. It's not, this is not nothing to joke about. Because it's your special role in your network security department that you have to show everybody else that everybody can trust you. And this is one example of where the partnership comes in and say, you know, what are our values? What is our ethical standard on certain issues? Finally, social responsibility. You know, a lot of companies say, oh, you know, we have a social responsibility department that's in charge of writing checks and donate to charities and whatever. But the way we look at social responsibility is you have to be personally involved. You have to personally devote time to social responsibility. And that's because if you just write a check, you don't inspire other people to do socially responsible things. But if you do it yourself and you're out there evangelizing, then it'll inspire others. Jack has one of the most well-known foundations in China, not because of the money involved. Actually, the foundation is, I think, undercapitalized. I wanted to move forward. But what he does is he spends a lot of time. The foundation focuses on rural education. And every year they do a contest. They select 100 rural teachers to come to one place and give them prizes. They're selected from thousands and thousands of teachers. The point here is it focuses on one of the pressing issues in China, which is there's 60 million children in rural villages whose parents have gone to cities to work. And so they are left behind. And their education is a huge challenge because they don't have parental guidance. A lot of them are brought up by grandparents who are not very well educated. A lot of them just need to, you know, live in the school to have the right boarding facilities. So Jack's Foundation focuses on that. Our partners, our women partners, there are 36 partners, 12 of them are women. Our women partners have collectively formed a foundation to help mothers and children in the rural areas that are disadvantaged in terms of education, in their care. This is not because your shareholders say, hey, you should do something socially responsible. This is because every individual from within, we wanted to do it. In this case, the 12 women partners decided that they want to get together and support this cause. All right? So that's how we do social responsibility. Just a few data points about the partnership. There are, you know, we founded in 2010. As I said, 12 partners are women. Lots of diversity. It actually mirrors the original founders group. Of the original founding group of 18 people, 1/3 were women. Also, the tenure, you know, close to 90% of partners have worked in Alibaba for over 10 years. And there's new blood coming in. So the partnership selection process, a rigorous process, but every year, as I said, we bring in 3 or 4 partners. Finally, stock ownership. If you've worked in Alibaba for 10 years, because of the normal equity-based incentive plan we have, you would end up owning quite a bit of Alibaba stock. All right? So you're there already. But once you make partner, the company will make a special grant to the new partners. It vests over 10 years. It's a 10-year vesting period. We want to make sure that your wealth, your personal wealth of every partner is tied up in the company and their skin in the game. I have investors ask me, oh, you know, how much do partners collectively own in the company or whatever. I think it's, right now it's something like 11, 12% or something like that. But the percent, in a big market cap company like this, the percentage doesn't, you know, I think it's less important. I think what is important is that with respect to each partner, our stock ownership in the company is like 80, 90% of our net worth. That's the whole purpose of giving the new partners a grant that vests over 10 years of this thing, so that the substantial amount of their net worth is tied up in Alibaba stock. I want to give you a little. This is our partner. I think we have a couple people missing, but recently we had an outing, so we got together. 6 out of the 36 partners had birthdays in September. So actually, you know, we celebrate everyone's birthday, and one of them is Jack. Obviously, his birthday is September 10th. So I kind of looked it up. His zodiac sign is the Virgo, right? So I'll give you some of the strengths and weaknesses of Virgos. Strengths: loyal, kind, hardworking. Yeah, okay, pretty good. Weakness: shyness. Dislikes: taking center stage. Anyway, finally, okay, I have to sort of toot my own horn since I'm the speaker. So at the end of the event, the outing, we had a planking contest, and me and Eric Jing, who is the CEO and chairman of Ant Financial, won the planking contest. So later on, if you guys want to do a planking contest with us, you know, we'll take on challengers. Anyway, so this concludes my presentation. It addresses the question, how do we last 102 years? Thank you very much.